Greetings to all, and today we are going to learn about the use of search engines for basic research. As we know that research, literature survey plays a very important role, and in that aspect, I am just going to talk about how to exactly browse out and find out some important literatures that can definitely help you for your research. So if you go in our day-to-day research activities, we always find that there are a lot of research engines that can be used, and some of them, if I can name that, are uh, so we have some of the names that are very important, and some of the prominent research engines that we have is basically the free or the beta version that is available as Google Scholar, Scopus, Mendeley, and the Microsoft Academia. If we talk about Mendeley, it's basically, it does have a free version as well as a paid version. And if we talk about the paid ones, subscription based, we have sites like SciFinder and Web of Science, and the websites that I'm talking about here is definitely not exhaustive. We have got a number of other websites, but at this moment I'm listing only these six most widely used search engines in the research. So if we talk about one of the search engines, and that's Web of Science. Web of Science has been explored, and in case you have the provision of using Web of Science, this is actually a very interactive and a very helpful website for basically searching out any kind of scientific literatures. And for that, I'm going to talk about it. Before I talk about it, let me just show you some basic uses of Web of Science and how exactly we can use that. So all of us have come across Google Scholar, and as you can see, this is my logged in page. And then basically, if I search for anything, let's say I'm talking about oxygen vacancies in a material like zinc oxide, and then I can obviously get my research outputs from here. And then from here I can basically do different kinds of sorting. For example, let's say this has been I want in publication only since 2017, and I don't want to talk about the older publications. Then I can see that 2018, 18, and then 17 and all, and there is a lot of statistics that is basically available here. We can also talk about a custom range, and we can basically go for a range of, let's say I want for the last 3 years, so I can go from 2013 to 2017, or let's say 2017. So we are basically talking about 4 years here, and then we can go for the search, and then we have basically got these kind of options, and we have got about 17,400 results. Now this is something which we usually do in the Google Scholar, and I'll come to use of Google Scholar later. But let's talk about Web of Science. Now Web of Science is something which is subscription based, and I'm logged into my account here, and then I can log out, and if I log in I need a username and a password. So you need a subscription, and you have to be given access by the institute. So if you look into the Web of Science, what are the databases that basically it searches? Now what do you mean by database? Basically by database we mean that it's basically a server where all the data are stored. And if you can see the list here, there's a lot of databases which are available from where you can actually search in Web of Science. So it has got the core collection, we have got the biases preview, we have got the Chinese science citation database, and we also got the Russian science citation database. And the best option would be basically for a basic search is go for all the databases that you want to search. And you can see this is the basic search window, and the topic that I've searched here is oxygen vacancies in Zerino. So let me try something similar here. Oxygen vacancies in Zerino, and then we can actually go for the search. And when we basically search it, you see that we have got a number of papers related to this. So that is the basic search that we have. And then I want to actually filter it out. Now the interesting part in Web of Science is that the filtering that can be done here is actually more vast compared to Google Scholar. Look at the time span, that again the same custom, then you can go for the last 5 years of publication, and of course you can go for most settings out here. Now you have got some interesting options here. Suppose you want to talk not only about the author vacancies in ZNO, but you also want to talk about you want to know who is the author. So you'll be just basically resetting this, and when you go for this, you can see that there are basically 3 options out here, and you can talk about the index, you can talk about the author here, author, publication name, and you can keep on changing this to and fro. So you can go for the title, and suppose you want the exact title. Let's say for me, let's say AG ZNO Death Sensing, right, and the publication name. So let's go for some search, and I've seen this, and then I can see that there are some publications. Now we have got some publications from Sensors and Actuators. So let's go back, and let's say I want to list out the journals only from Sensors and Actuators. So I'll basically go for Sensors and Actuators, and as the interesting part is, you'll be actually getting the name listed if it's basically a prominent journal, and then the gas sensing papers that I'm going to find out is only from the journal of Sensors and Actuators. So in Sensors and Actuators it doesn't exist. So let's see any other we have. Let's say a physical, and let's go for the search. So it's not there. So let's see if we talk about any other Sensors and Actuator journals. Be chemical, let's see if it's there. Okay, so you can see that if you're interested only in finding out from Sensors and Actuators, be chemical, we have basically got 2 publications out here. So that is exactly how you can use it, and it depends on what are your requirements, and then you can definitely go for it. Okay, let's go for the basic stuff. Now in case you are also knowing about the author name, you can put in the author name and you can find out the exact publication out there. Now let me just go back to the original field, and let me just make all the fields clear out here. So once we're done with that, let me tell you some more interesting facts. So I'm basically searching about let's say the gas sensing by ZNO, and that's my topic, and let's go for some other options. Let's go for this cited reference search. Now these are all cited works which can be actually searched, but what is more interesting and important is advanced search option. Now if you go for the advanced search option in Web of Science, there are some keywords and a particular way in which you can put it in. So I'm interested only in last 5 years. I put it there, and then this is basically called TS, the topic. So what I do is I'll put TS, and then I will put my keyword, let's say ZNO, and I'll go for search. Now when I do that, what I see is, if I look into ZNO, let me just delete my old searches that we already have here, and I'll tell you this is a very interesting feature here that we have. So just go for that delete and delete that. You can see that for ZNO there has been 46,761 publications for the last 5 years. So if you imagine, if I can increase this, let me say for the entire span of time, if I go for that for the entire span of time, then I can see that the number of publications will definitely be more. So that was last 5 years, and again I can go for the entire span, and then if I check it, I have it for, and the number of publications will definitely rise up, and you can see it's around 1,27,000 odd publications for all the years. Now I have this. Now interesting part is these are the search history that I have put in. Now I want to talk about the next keyword. Let's say I want to find out ZNO, how is it used as gas sensors. So I'm talking about publications which only mentions gas sensors. Now what important part is here is, you can at the end of R you can put a star or an asterisk, which means that it can be with the S here, or it can be without any letter. So it can be a gas sensor or a gas sensors. So if I do that, I basically find out that the number of publications for only gas sensors is 49,247. Now the interesting part is, let me put something else. Let's say I want to talk about gas sensor which is done using silver. So if I do that search, I basically find out that only work on silver is around 3,91,000. Now I've searched all this and these are the results, and if I click on this, I can see all the basic publications here. So you can see the publications are basically listed down here. Okay, and then if you want to basically look into it in terms of date, you can always go from here, oldest to date, recently added, and so on. So if you go from the recently added publication, you can see which is the latest publication in gas sensor. But you see, when you're talking about something like gas sensor, it's a vast field, and when you're talking about research, you cannot go on for such a vast field. You have to basically come down to finer points, finer details, and you can talk about more. Now let's see, I am talking about ZNO, and I am talking about gas sensors. So ZNO and gas sensors. So I'm using the material ZNO and I'm using it as gas sensor. So I will combine them. I'll put this AND keyword and I'll just combine, and I'll see that how many publications are there for the entire period of time where we have ZNO and gas sensor. So you can see 3, which is nothing but gas sensor, 2, which is nothing but ZNO. Now at the same time, if you are talking about now the interesting part here is that we are talking about the entire span of time here. So you can look at this is the entire span of time. So this is important. Now let's see, I'm talking about for the last 5 years what is happening. So if I talk about the last 5 years, what I can do is I can combine gas sensor and I can talk about ZNO for the last 5 years, and I can just combine it, and obviously the number of publications will drastically come down. So if you look into this for the last 5 years, okay, I've not put the keyword here. I need to put the combine set, and then I can go for and then if I see the number of publication has been 2,630. But let's stick to all years, and now I will refine it. I'll take for all the years, and I will talk about how they are done with when it is doped with silver, and then let's combine them again, and I can see that the number of publication that has come down to 186. So this is exactly how I am refining my search results. And let's say I want to find out a new field, and let's say I'm talking about something like this is ZNO, and then we can actually dope it with different things for gas sensor publication. And let's say I'll shift it not from silver, I'll go basically to gold. So gold rate. So if I go for only searching for gold, and then we can see that there are a number of publications. So let's combine this gold, and let's combine this 3 and 1 basically. So we have got ZNO and gas sensors, and let's take AND as the parenthesis, and we combine it, and we can see the number of publication is 198. So these are the publications. Now let's see what are the publications. So if you go to this, you can see all the publications, which is basically based on combination of ZNO and gas sensing, which is done basically for gas sensing. It can be any kind of gas, and we also have the involvement of silver in the picture. So we have this. So we can see that we're talking about silver particles, and then definitely if you go into this, you can see what kind of publication we have. If you look into this, and suppose let's take this publication for example. We have got silver particles, nanodoped ZNO nanorods are basically used for acetylene gas sensing properties. Now I want to know about this particular publication. I can go for the view abstract option, and I can see that the basic abstract which is being written here, which actually will be helpful for me whether I want to really use it or not. Now, how to actually read a paper, go through a paper, will be in my other part of the lecture. So here we are basically talking about this. Now if I'm interested in this, I can definitely go to this publication and find out other details within Web of Science, and we have got the abstract interested in. You can always go for the full publication. So we have got the full option, we have got the full text from the publisher. If you've gotten access to this, you can definitely read to this, but right now I'm not focusing on that. That's a very simple part. We are going to talk about something which is called the analytics. Now if you look into this, here, the analyze results. Now that is a very important part here. What it does is basically helps you out to basically understand that the research that you're going to conduct, is it up to the mark, is it recent, and all those kind of things. So let's go for this analyze result option, and if you just go for this, you can see that there is something which is called a tree map. Here different fields are basically set up. So ZNO, gas sensing, and silver dope. You can see there are different fields in chemistry, engineering, some work has been done, materials, and some work has been done. And if you go down, you can see how many publications are basically done here. So if you look into this in the form of a bar chart, you can see this bar graph, which is very handy. And you can see for the entire time period, there's a number of results which are shown at 10. Now if I reduce the number of results, the maximum work has been done in these fields. So it's physics, material science, engineering, instrumentation, and of course chemistry. So we have these results, and you can see that the number of publication is more than 140. But that might not be very relevant. But if we actually change this, and we are taking this bar graph in terms of, so these are the analysis areas that you can basically work on. So you can see that this publication area that we are talking about is very important. So let's go for the publication years, not years, sorry, years. So if you go to this, you can see that in the year 2017, and let's increase the number of years that you can view. In 2009, there has been approximately 8 publications, exactly 8, and then there has been 8 publications here. And then if you can look into this, you can see that there are 25 number of publications in 2016, and 17 it has been 22, and it has been 15 in 2018. So you can, from that you can basically get an idea that people are working a lot in this particular field. So that is very important. Now let me just get back to the original page. And now what I want to do is, I am not interested in any gas sensing. I am, let's say, interested in sensing something like ethanol. And then you can go for the search, and you can see that there are too many publications here. So let's combine ethanol with that of ZNO and Ag nanoparticles, and let's go for N, and let's combine this, and let's see the number of publications that comes out is just 43. So what I'm doing here is basically just filtering it out, okay? And we can also go for some other parameters. Let's say I'll take up this, and we have to understand that when we're talking about doping, there are different kinds of material, and let's say we're talking about ternary compounds, and let's go for a search here, and you can see that ternary compounds are too many here. Let's go for this and combine with this, and this. So let's see how many publications we have here. Well, the search found no records, so that means that the simple understanding of this is that using ternary compound, let's say ZNO combined with 2 other compounds, and sensing ethanol, and ZNO is basically doped with silver, there are 0 publications. So basically, if you are planning to work on this, you can work on this. Whether this will give you a result or not, that's obviously a scientific issue. I'm just talking about basic search here. So this is exactly how you can use Web of Science for narrowing down your research, and that will definitely help you out. If you look into the other parts, like SciFinder is basically meant for chemistry, and then if you look about something like Microsoft Academia, so I'll go for this, and then we will talk about the Google Scholar, which is mostly used. So in my future lectures, I'll talk about the use of Google Scholar, which is a free version, but right now I'm talking about Web of Science. One point that you should take note of is the results that are being displayed here. The publications are basically published in SCI or SCI extended journals, and these are all indexed journals, so these are good journals. So I'm not listing out, we're not listing out here the journals which are less popular. These are very good journals. So basically whatever outputs you have basically from here are authentic and genuine. You can also see that there are some more options on the side of this, and these are basically nothing but what you've seen on the top, and with this you can definitely get good help, but it's very important that you have access to Web of Science, so that you can use this kind of filtered data to understand whether you are following the right direction or not. So with that, take a leave, and then until next time, I hope I can provide you with some more interesting materials. Thank you.